Hello guys, this is UniversalGiant and welcome back for more of Let's Play Pokémon SoulSilver. Last time we removed Team Rocket from Mahogany Town, and in doing so, we're able to quell the raging Gyarados, and it is no longer raining here, which means we can explore the lower part of the Lake of Rage that was underwater all this time. And while I'm here, I can put up a repel, and I should probably buy more repels, because I've been using them pretty often. But as you saw when we first got here, there are a couple of items down here that we were not able to get before because we couldn't get down here because it was underwater. And how many times am I going to say that? I don't know. Hopefully not too many more. But this is not going to be the only thing we do here. The only question is, how long is it going to take to do everything here? Because I could do one of two things after we finish off collecting everything there is for us here. We could either take on the gym in Mahogany Town, which I'm sure you guys are very much looking forward to because you don't want to see me running around like an idiot accomplishing absolutely nothing for 15-20 minutes. But I also don't want to... Well, if this is going to take longer than it needs to, I'd prefer to spend my remaining time on something that isn't going to take... I don't know. Like, if I'm going to be fighting 5 or 6 trainers here, and I'm not going to have time to do the gym, I'd rather do something else. And if you guys remember, we got a call from Balba because we'd spent 3 hours in-game and not really done much of anything with it. Should we keep going? I don't think you resist Flash Cannon. But it's so cool to see Krakow out here for the first time as a Magneton. Yeah, you don't resist it. I'm hopeful it does enough damage to take you out with recoil, but I severely doubt it. What I'm thinking of doing, he gave us a call that we could do the second challenge at the Safari Zone. So if this takes longer than it needs to, I can go finish that off now, or I could put it off until after the gym. Spam it in the comments which one you would rather me do, and I'll make sure to listen to you while I'm recording. Yeah, the first time we've seen Crunch as a Feraligatr also. But this trainer has the evolved form of the 3 Kanto starters, Ivysaur, Charmeleon, and I assume Wartortle, but we haven't seen it yet. You already know my opinion on these 3. And everybody's level 30 now, hooray! Consistency! Yep, Wartortle. So do I want to do anything out of the ordinary here, or do I just want to go back to Krakow again? No reason not to. Let's show some love to the guys that we haven't seen since they evolved. But yeah, Wartortle's just a Squirtle with wings on its head. I wish it could fly, but it can't. And I was about to say I wish there were water flying types, because those would be cool, but now that I think about the water flying types, I can't think of any that are. I can think of water flying types that are cute, but none that are useful. Oh well. It's nice that we brought along somebody that knows cuts so we can get through this forest maze, which is just as annoying to navigate as it was above water. But thankfully there aren't any random encounters in here, and there's nothing over here. Why would there be a path over here if there's nothing over here? That's kind of silly. It's also kind of silly that since this place is underwater 6 days out of 7 during the week, that these trees are still alive. And I mean, it's not only that, but they're exactly the same kind of trees that thrive in environments that are not underwater, which doesn't make much ecological sense. You'd think if there are trees that survive underwater, at least they'd be different kinds of trees. But our first Max Revive... It does what you think it does. It restores your Pokemon to full health even if it's fainted. But you can't buy those. Any of the ones that you pick up are the only ones you're going to get, unless you get really, really lucky in the lottery corner. And there's a dude over here! And since it's Wednesday and it's not raining, he's going to give us the Black Belt, which powers up fighting-type moves, which is going to be very useful for HCB. Thank you, Wesley! There aren't many of the weak siblings left for us to find either, which begs the question, how close are we to the end of the game? It can't be too far off, or I might be lying to you! That's more likely than not, but let's pretend that it's not that unlikely. What? And a full restore. And there's nothing left for us to do here, and it's only been 5 minutes, so I say, what the hell, let's do the gym. So fly straight back to Mahogany Town. And I'll switch out Leaky for Duster like I always do. Be right back. And now we're ready to take on the Mahogany Town Pokémon Gym leader Pryce, the teacher of winter's harshness. And yes! Ice puzzles! Who doesn't love ice puzzles? The main gimmick here, you push blocks, and if 2 of them collide into each other, they stay solid and unmovable, so it's nice of them to tell us that before we actually head into rooms where it's actually required for us to do this intelligently. But we have to fight people on skis, and it would make more sense if they were skiing on the ice, but they were actually skiing on solid ground, which is probably made of concrete or something. Jinx! Psychic Ice type! Weak to both of Lupus's stabs! Have fun with that. For the longest time, I thought it was also possible to find male Jinx, but I think that's been debunked. It may have been possible in earlier games, but I don't think it's possible here. It was certainly possible when they didn't have gender designations in the first generation, but I guess you could argue they were always that way. I don't know, when I think about Pokemon that are supposed to have specific types, or specific genders, I think about Mr. Mime, and that you could potentially find female Mr. Mimes. And because of that, I think that there are other Pokemon out there that are supposed to have specific gender designations that don't. But I've proven wrong more often than not. Swinub! Ice Ground type, actually interesting typing, and its evolution got a 4th generation evolution, which is one that I've always really wanted to use, but I just never got around to. Yes, you're so serious that you get one shot by everything. But here we actually have to think, if I push the block over here and down that way, I won't be able to get up to the gap in the middle up there, so we have to go all the way around, push it this way, and into the door we go. And there are 3 more trainers for us to fight here. Why not? I love ice types. We haven't had many ice types in this game yet. So you can imagine we're probably going to be going through an ice dungeon after this at some point, and it's a seal. Hi, Mr. Seal, how you doing? I don't want to deal with you. Go with Krakow, I guess. There was a point in this game where I was just spamming Magnemite the entire time, because we were on a water route, but it's been too long since then, so I've kind of been neglecting him, I guess. But Seal used a move on us that we haven't seen before, Encore! Encore locks you into the last move that you used for a set amount of turns. And if you want to be able to switch up your moves after being locked into it, you have to either switch out or wait for the Encore to end. But this guy also has the evolved form of Seal, and it gains an Ice type when it evolves, Dugong! I actually really like this guy. It's got a decent amount of bulk, and it's relatively strong. Plus, you can't go wrong with an Ice type. It's always good to have an Ice type in this game. And you've just got one more Seal. I suppose I'll leave Krakow in here. I don't think it'll gain a level, but it can't hurt. As I said before, Crunch already has the Ice type somewhat covered because he has Ice Fang. Although it's not that strong, it's still good to have at least one Ice-type move on your team, even if it's not a stab. But this is one of the more tricky puzzles for you to figure out. You see the block over there we can't move because it's in a corner. So you have to think we have to be able to push these blocks one way or the other. And I actually forget how we should do this. Or what different ways are possible. Because if I push it up there, it's not going to be any use to me. But I also want to fight the dude over there. How do I get to that dude over there? Is that the only way over there, or can I go... I can't go down this way. I could go up this way and talk to you. It's difficult to do a parallel turn on skis when you're stuck in the corner, but you can try. Another dugong, which means I have to switch out Lupus again, or I'm going to get hit with something. Although the last one didn't use a water-type move on me when I was in there before, so maybe this one won't. Why would you rest on the first turn? That doesn't make any sense. I think we already picked up the TM rest, so I'm not going to bother explaining it, but there's no reason for you to use a health-restoring move on the first turn. But Aqua Ring will restore its health at the end of every turn a little bit. I forget if it's 1/16th or 1/8th. I guess it's 1/16th. That's not even all that helpful. Why would you do that? It's not worth wasting your PP on or wasting your turn on. Don't take that out of context. Oh, you gotta love when I get quiet after saying something incredibly stupid. Yep, my brain just shuts down when it realizes it's been saying nothing but nonsense, because it doesn't want to feel any worse for itself. How do I get to that duder? Can I get to you without screwing myself on the puzzle? Because I'm pretty darn sure I have to be able to get to you somehow without screwing up the puzzle. Is it possible? Maybe it's just not possible and I have to screw up the puzzle the way I'm thinking of. Okay. I'm probably going to have to reset the room after that, but Pryce is secret, Pryce is secret, Pryce is secret. Which means we should probably talk to this guy after we beat him up, because he knows a secret, and that secret is secret, and it's probably going to be a helpful secret. Oh, you gotta love how inaccurate Supersonic is. It just hit me that there's only one more gym in this region after this. Have we really gone through 7 gyms at this point? I mean, I know it's been how many months? But it just feels like... I don't know how to describe it. I usually don't get to this point in a game or an LP until we're very close to the end. And those of you who've played this game before know that this is far from over. But maybe it's just the fact that I've been LPing this for as long as I have that I'm at this point. And generally, I don't like doing Let's Plays over such a long amount of time because I tend to lose interest in them after that. It just hasn't... I haven't been able to help it. I've just been extremely busy, and I guess this is as good a time as any to say it. I don't think I'll be able to get back to the even 5 videos a week anymore. I think it's just going to be 2 or 3 videos a week, at least for the foreseeable future. And that's not just because I'm doing SoulSilver here that requires much more editing than I'm used to, it's just... I don't have the time anymore. And I kind of have to appreciate what I have here. I can't get up to you, can I? You're gonna make me reset the room. I suppose it's as good an excuse to heal as any, so I'll go run back to the Pokémon Center. But I think I just have to take the time to step back and appreciate the whole Let's Playing process on the whole, now that I'm not going to have nearly as much time to do this sort of thing as I used to. How do I do this properly? Because if I push that into that, I have to be able to get over to that block, but how do I do that from here? Is that... yeah, that's enough. It solidifies it so we can make our way up here to Pryce. Now this guy is not going to have anything different than the trainers that we've seen before. He's got himself a Seal, he's got himself a Dugong, and another Pokemon that we haven't seen before that's slightly more powerful, but even Jasmine was stronger than this guy's strongest Pokemon, so take that for what you will, I suppose. He'll try to slow you down with Ice-type moves. Krako's especially good for these guys because, for the first time in forever, a gym leader uses a healing item. That isn't going to be helpful because I think we got the special attack boost on the last turn. I wasn't paying attention. That might have been the stat debuff from the Seal. Yeah, I think it was. It'd be really nice if you wasted your other... You're gonna withdraw into the Pokemon that I was afraid of you using. Yup. Pilus Swine! Pilus Swine! Evolved form of Swinub! Who am I gonna switch into? I guess I'll switch into HCB. This is the guy that I've thought about using for the longest time. It has Mud Bomb, which is a fairly powerful ground-type move, which is why I wanted to make sure Krako was out of there. I'm not sure how its defense stats are, though. Strong enough to withstand Heracross's Brick Break, and that's Black Belt boosted to boot. But this thing knows Hail! Hail damages any Pokemon at the end of the turn that is not of the Ice type. So it's very much like Sandstorm, except much more difficult to dodge, because with Sandstorm, there were 3 different types that dodged it: Rock, Ground, and Steel. Hail, only one type of Pokemon is able to dodge. But like the other weather effects, it ends after 5 turns, so it's not too big of an issue. So he's gonna send in Seal again. Do I want to have HCB finish off the job? I kind of want to have somebody else do it just for the sake of it. Because now that his biggest threat is out of the way, I feel I can use pretty much anybody and get away with it, so... let's just do it for the shits and giggles. Confusion! Because it's how I am most of the time. And his last Pokemon, as I alluded to, is the evolved form of Seal that gains the Ice type, so it won't be affected by Hail. Dugong! Do I want to try HCB with a Brick Break? I do not think it's going to do the job. I guess I'll send in Krako again. Consistency! I have none! Why, thank you. I love being complimented in the middle of a fierce battle by my opponent, who's trying to beat the living crap out of my best friends who I've developed over the course of the last 5 months. That doesn't make the least bit of sense, does it? Oh well, this battle will be over soon enough, as will my awkwardness, hopefully. Willow is your middle name? Pryce Willow? I want to make a joke, but I don't know what joke to make of Pryce Willow. I don't know your last name. Do any of these trainers have last names? They have to have last names. Do we just not learn them? Do they call you Leader Pryce instead of Leader your last name? Or Mr. your last name? Or maybe Pryce is your last name? Whatever, we'll just call him Pryce. And since we defeated him, we'll get our long-awaited Glacier Badge. Only one more to go for Johto. And in addition to being able to use Whirlpool outside of battle now, he'll also give us TM7! Hail! Not all that useful, especially considering my team does not have an Ice type, but it's cool to have. And you can imagine we're going to be picking up the TMs for the other weather effects at some point eventually. We might have already picked up the one for Rain Dance, I don't remember. But when we leave, Professor Elm's going to give us a call. And he is going to tell us that something weird is happening with the radio broadcasts again. What? Didn't we already take care of them and their weird radio shenanigans? I always thought it was really stupid that Professor M would call us and tell us about that, especially at this point where we already defeated Team Rocket with their radio, and you can see they removed the tree, but not the antenna. What the hell? Shouldn't it be the other way where you remove the antenna but not the tree? Maybe the tree wasn't real? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But there's no one here manning the shop. I thought there was somebody here that was supposed to... declaring revival. Wait a minute. Don't tell me. I just defeated you! Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Well, I guess we're gonna have to deal with them in the near future. This is UniversalGiant, and unfortunately, this guy's not going to let us pass until we defeat Team Rocket again. Oh boy. So looking forward to the next episode. I know you guys are too.